Tamika and I am back, Jack. This nigga finna lie too. He in jail. Ugh. So this is the business partner.
Do you have his name on? Can you spell his first name for me?
Cordell.
Man, E. King, hey, listen, this is what I'm on. E. King, me too, bro.
And Mr. Wright, do you have a nickname?
Yes.
And what's your nickname?
King.
It's King, y'all. It's King.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. How old are you?
37.
When's your birthday?
11/17.
Oh, he a Scorpio too? Oh, shit.
86.
And Mr. Wright, back in January 2024, were you on an MDOC tether?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And what dates were you on tether from?
From March 14th, 23 to March 28th of 24.
Nigga, what you violating?
Other restrictions back then?
I could leave the house from 6 in the morning. I had to be back in by 9 p.m.
So this nigga in there with Jarvis?
Jarvis Butts?
Yes, I do.
How do you know Jarvis Butts?
I first met him. We worked together at a shop called Frank's. And then we owned the shop together.
Okay. And do you see Jarvis Butts in the courtroom today?
No.
Would you be able to stand up so you can look around?
Yes. No.
The nigga ain't in there?
When did you meet Mr. Butts?
2018.
And you said you two worked together initially at a place called Frank's?
Frank's.
All right. Where was Frank's at?
He has a couple locations. He has 7, but the one I met him at was on Warren and Neff.
Warren and Neff. Okay. And what locations of Frank's did you work at with Mr. Butts?
Warren and Neff.
I want him to spin his camera around so bad. Cause you mean to tell me this nigga, is he not in the courtroom? Will they not have him in the courtroom cause he's an inmate too? What's up, Black Beauty?
Yes.
And Mr. Wright, I'm approaching those proposed exhibits 4, 5, and 6. Can you look at these and tell me if you recognize those?
I recognize this one, and this one.
Okay. And those are those a fair and accurate depiction of the Frank's Auto Shops? At least 2 of them on Warren and the other one maybe on Harper?
Yes.
Okay. Which is the one that's on Harper?
The last one on the inside.
Okay. And that's People's Exhibit, proposed exhibit 6?
Yes.
Okay. You're not going for the admission of People's 4, 5, and 6?
Any objection? No objection. You'll be admitted as People's Exhibits 4, 5, and 6.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm fucking floored at this case.
You worked at Frank's with Mr. Butts?
A few years.
About how many years would you estimate?
2.
And when did that change from Frank's to another shop?
That's what
maybe
I was
in
thinking, right, Britt? So maybe he not in there because of the inmate shit?
3 sometime.
Okay. Would it be earlier in the year or later in the year?
Maybe mid, maybe in May. Well, maybe April, May.
And then where did you guys work then?
We got a shop together on 9,000 Connor.
And
Y'all gonna come on this motherfucker about 4 in the morning and I'm gonna be all on maps trying to look and brush and shit.
what is at 9,000 Connor?
A sicko, a car wash, and our shop was in the middle of both.
You're a man, girl.
Yes.
Straight, I'm handing you a Smart 50 book. You're supposed to exhibit 7 and 8. Can you look at those and tell me if you recognize them?
Yes, I don't know.
Okay. And are those a fair and accurate depiction of your shop at 9,000 Connor?
Yes, it is.
And you're not with the admission of people's proposed exhibits 7 and 8?
No objection. They'll be admitted as people's exhibits 7 and 8.
Thank you. Who was it that you mainly worked with at 9,000 Connor?
I'm sorry.
Who was it that you worked with at 9,000 Connor?
Jarvis.
I want to take you back to when you were working at Frank's with Mr. Butts. Did you ever see Mr. Butts with any children there?
Yes.
And specifically, did you see him with any young girl children?
Yes.
And did you know who those were?
Yes.
Who were they? Who were they?
His daughter, his niece.
Daughters and niece. What about any boys?
Yes.
Okay. And who were they?
His sons.
How often would you see him with children there at Frank's?
Sporadically.
And at 9,000 Connor, did you see Mr. Butts with any children then?
Yes.
Any girls?
Yes.
And who would they be?
His daughter.
And
No, he not the co-defendant. He was actually, he in jail now, but he not a co-defendant. He was actually the business partner of the defendant. So him and that dude used to work together at the same shop at the time. And right now it's looking like that was the last place a little 13-year-old girl was seen at that shop, at they shop. You know what I'm saying? So far. But King is going to be the one that's going to bring it all together for us.
what about any boys?
Yes.
And who would they be?
His sons.
And how often would you see him with children at 9,000 Connor?
Sporadic.
And
I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't mean to. I'm gonna keep it going, but I want to just help. I just want to help. What's her face out? All right, Beauty-ish. This was going on. I'm gonna go real fast. It was a little 13-year-old girl named Naziah Harris. She went missing January 9th of 2024. All right. Nobody had found her, but it came out a little bit later that she might be unalive because she was getting SA'd, you know what I'm saying, by her auntie's baby father, okay? So right now, they have not found her body, but they got significant evidence that the little girl is no longer living, all right? Now, she was 13 years old, and she was also with child. She was pregnant. Now, we done looked at the mama, the grandmama who ain't shit. None of these people that we naming is shit. Everybody who we ain't seen so far ain't been shit. Now, King, you know what I'm saying, is supposed to be the business associate. Now, the defendant's sister also testified, and she said that she went back up here and seen King. Now, we going to see what King say that day that happened that day.
as it relates to this case, it's fair to say that you spoke with Detroit police a few times?
Yes, about 4.
About 4 times? Okay. That first time that you talked to Detroit police, do you recall about when that was?
The first time was the day before Valentine's Day, so like February 13th.
February 13th, and is that of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And at that time, were you presented with a jail call?
Yes.
Okay. And who was that jail call with?
Jarvis.
Okay. And who was he talking to?
Me.
All right. And what?
Nigga, is that why you in jail?
That jail call?
He called and asked would I receive a cell phone out of a truck for him.
Oh. Cause they said they found it in the baby mama truck, right? Cause she said she didn't know his phone was in that car, right? So he must have put the fucking car. He stashed the motherfucking phone in the fiance's truck. Ooh, let's hear the tape.
And were you familiar with what truck he was asking you to get it from?
Yes.
What truck was that?
It was a Z71 Chevy Suburban.
Yup. Ding, ding, ding.
And did you know who that truck belonged to?
Yeah, his baby mom or somebody he was dealing with.
His baby mom or somebody he was dealing with. His own homeboy and the person he shared a shot with didn't even know she was his fiance. Welp.
And do you recall listening to that jail call?
Yeah, I recall.
Okay.
Oh, why you laughing? That's probably why he in jail. Tempering shit.
If I, I would move to admit the jail call from, I believe it's.
This shit almost remind you of one of them Detroit Tubi movies.
Any objection?
No objection.
What is it? Exhibit number on that?
Sorry, that's exhibit number 1.
It'll be admitted as exhibit 1.
Thank you, Judge. And may I publish?
Yes, I gave you photos.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, you shaking your head. What you done did, nigga?
And for the record, I am playing People's Exhibit 1.
That's it.
This is a one-time free 3-minute call from an inmate at Lee County Jail. Your phone is not set to collect calls. This call has been provided by Helmet as a courtesy for friends and family. You cannot receive additional calls from this instance until you have repaid it. We can take your credit or debit card information over the phone and connect you immediately back to your phone.
Ron Maker, how did everything go, sis?
This call is subject to recording and monitoring. Press 1 to accept all communications from this.
Britt Dainty, they got you on that shit, don't you?
My guy, what's up, man?
Nah, shit, man. What's happening?
Nah, shit, man. How you feeling? My bad, I missed your call. I was working like a motherfucker.
I figured they said you was up there, man. They said something, baby.
Yeah, you know it, you know it, you know
What's
it.
up, my nigga? What is that, man? What's up, boy?
You know it.
And shit. Man, I'm calling, man. You bitch, they put my money on my motherfucking books, bro.
Oh, yeah, take a minute for them to put that shit on there. Even if you walk in with it, man, they be playing it crazy.
Yeah, man.
I swear to God. They should have a machine and shit. You show you straight, you need something. I mean, I'm gonna give you a couple dollars for that thing.
Yeah, you know, I had some money on my books, nigga. I came in with money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they put this shit on my hookup. I was looking at average. I get come up $0. That's some bullshit.
That shit crazy.
Yeah.
How is it, though?
That's when you know a nigga don't want to be giving you no money and shit. When they just straight chump you. You said, my man ain't got no $0 on my book. Boy, that shit fucked up. So what you about to do?
Man, that's some bullshit. I'm really going to quarantine on this other shit, bro.
Oh, yeah, they got you on that quarantine club for how long? 3 days?
I don't know how long, nigga. Shit, I'm shit. Oh, I'm about to be the only one in this bitch on my part.
You say what happened?
I said, shit, I'm about to be the remember me and you know, this motherfucker, you want these boys on this bitch, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
What you need?
Huh?
No, I was asking something what that customer needs. Man, listen. You straight?
Yeah, I'm good, my nigga.
Huh?
So yeah, I'm good, oh, shit, yeah, you got a passion number, right?
Yeah.
So then, I need you to call her one day, nigga, and get that truck up there, nigga. Get my phone out that back seat, bro.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm supposed to get the truck up there. What's going to tell her?
Tell her you gonna,
He's such a narcissist, bro. Acting like he just thought about this shit 5 minutes ago. Like, oh, you know what? Nigga, you know that's why you called that nigga, bro. Because you in jail right now, nigga. You was trying to goddamn help get that phone. And that's what this jailhouse call fucked y'all up so bad. That's probably why his bald head ass in there for tampering with evidence.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
What you need?
Huh?
No, I was asking what that customer needs. Man, listen. You straight?
Yeah, I'm good, my nigga.
Huh?
Say, yeah, I'm good, oh, shit, yeah. You got Tasha number, right?
Yeah.
So, Dig, I need you to call her one day, nigga, and get that truck up there, nigga. Get my phone out that back seat, bro.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm supposed to get the truck up there. What am I tell her?
Tell her you gonna, truck around and lost a car that there too when he's moving the, radio.
Okay.
Just wanna see. Now,
All right. It would.
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
Reach behind that back seat.
Where? Yeah.
So you reach behind that back seat, bro. The box right there. Straight behind the middle of that back seat, bro.
Okay, under it or in the back or in the back
In
thing?
the back, like right in the back of the seat, bro.
Okay.
On the second row.
I got what I need. You know you took the key. You took the key to the gate.
It's the same key.
I don't got that key to it.
Yeah, you do. It's the same key to the lock and the door.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah, it's the same key, bro.
Now, you know I got you. I'll put the money on the phone later, man. When I get around, baby, I haven't put the credit card. You?
I got the on that. I call my wife and have her bring up the tea.
No, I don't need it, though.
He got a wife too? Hold on, tell him the fuck out. Did he just say wife? Hey, he got a wife? This shit is, no, this can't be real.
It would.
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
Reach behind that back seat.
Where? Yeah.
So you reach behind that back seat, bro. The box right there. Straight behind the middle of that back seat, bro.
Okay, under it or in the back or in the back
In
thing?
the back, like right in the back of the seat, bro.
Okay.
On the second row.
I got what I need. You know you took the key. You took the key to the gate.
It's the same key.
I don't got that key to it.
You know what I'm also putting together? This was like February. Let me look at this. This was February 8th, 2024. So this was the day. So he got, this was the day because the girl said she dropped him off February 7th to turn himself in. So this nigga was turning himself in for another crime before this that we already know, that we knew that it was another SA case on a child. So on February 8th, he wasn't really expecting to need his phone. But what happened is his own sister, because did she say like after Valentine's Day is when she started reaching out to the sergeant and shit? They started building that Naziah case while he was in there trying to beat this other charge. He's sitting in here thinking about this type of shit. Because I guarantee you by this time, everybody's starting to question him about them inboxes and shit. They like, nigga, what the fuck going on and shit? So this nigga like cold blue. So he need a nigga to get that phone because he know all that shit with Naziah's in that bitch. You dirty, filthy dog. And I don't understand this shit.
You do. It's the same key to the lock and the door.
That is crazy.
I didn't know that.
Boy.
All right.
Crazy, bro.
Now, you know I got you. I'll put the money on the phone later, man. When I get around, baby, I haven't put the credit card. You?
I got the on that. I call my wife and have her bring up the tea.
No, I don't need it, though. If you said the same one, I got it. So I don't need it right now anyway. Just when I get the scrap out of there.
This nigga got a wife, a fiance, and 3 baby mamas.
And Mr. Wright, were you successful in getting that cell phone from the vehicle like Mr. Butt asked you to?
She came up there, but no, I wasn't successful. It wasn't there.
She's a liar too, because she said that she had never been to the new shop. The fiance. She said she had never been to the new shop. Did she or did she not? She said that. Okay, but this shop right here is not Frank's. This is gonna be the 9,000 shop. You know what I'm saying? Because this is after this nigga got locked up. She's dumb too. Lock them all up. They all lying.
Wasn't there? Okay.
When we say she, who you referring to?
Tasha.
And who is Who's Taki that you know of?
His baby mom.
Okay. Did you look for it in the vehicle?
Yeah, I looked for it.
Okay. And you were unsuccessful at finding it?
Yes.
That's because they probably had already came and picked up Tasha's card and took that bitch when she didn't know that day. Hey, this is crazy as hell. This is better than anything that's out right now, y'all. Cause this seemed wild as hell.
And I'm sure I want to talk to you now about the second time that you were speaking with Detroit police. Was it heard that it was just a couple days after your first time?
It was not long, a few weeks maybe. I was off tether at that point, I believe.
Okay. And do you recall talking about fixing a red Jaguar and going to Ypsilanti?
Yes, I do.
How many times did you and Mr. Butts go to Ypsilanti?
I believe it was either 2 or 3.
And how did that come about? Whose red Jaguar is this?
My son's grandma.
Your son's grandma.
So she called, said she was having some problems with it and asked if we would come look at it, which is not unusual. We do house calls depending on the person and where it's located, but this is my son's grandma, so of course we're going to make the exception. She called and said she was having problems with the car, asked if we would come look at it. We went, assessed the car at her house the first time. I think we made a minor repair there, not to the extent that it was the problem that she was having after the fact.
Okay. So, where is this red Jaguar located when you guys go out to see it?
It's in my son's grandma's driveway in Ypsilanti,
Ypsilanti.
off Michigan Avenue, I believe.
All right. And who goes with you out there that first time?
Jarvis?
Okay. It's just you and Jarvis Butts?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys
Hey, for
go
real
there,
though,
make
Brittany.
a minor repair.
Yeah.
Does it completely fix the car?
For that problem, yes.
Okay. And then is there another time that you end up having to do work on this red Jaguar?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about that.
She drove the Jaguar for a while.
I'm finna get off
It was
too.
doing
This is gonna be
fine.
the last
She said
one.
it was leaking something. I asked her what it was leaking. She said she didn't know. I asked her if she could get it towed to the shop. She said yeah.
Okay. So at some point this red Jaguar gets towed to your shop at 9000 Connor?
Yes.
Okay. And who works on it at 9000 Connor?
Me and Jarvis.
Okay. And what do you do when you finish fixing? Do you ever finish fixing the red Jaguar?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you do when you finish fixing it?
We take it back to her. I called her first and asked her how she was planning on retrieving the vehicle. She said she was going to tow it, and I didn't want to cost her no more money, so I told her that we could bring it.
Okay. And do you recall if that was on or about January 9th of 2024?
It was on.
On that day?
This is what we need.
Okay.
This is what
So
we
on
talking
that
about.
day,
We on the case.
before you take the red Jaguar back, who was? Tell me about how that day started for you.
I woke up. I typically leave the house at 6 because that's what time I could leave. So I went to the gym. I got to the shop probably around 8:30. I don't know who opened the shop. I can't really recall which one of us opened it, but Jarvis may have been there already. A few cars came in, then the Jaguar probably got there maybe around 9 o'clock.
All right, so we at 9 o'clock.
I assessed the Jaguar. Jarvis left for a moment. I had another mechanic. Being it's a foreign car, so I had a foreign car mechanic on call to help with the work, but he was busy, so he came. Said he wouldn't have time to do it, so I think I Googled it, seen how it was done, and I proceeded taking the water pump off.
Okay. So you're working on the Jaguar, and is Mr. Buck at work that day?
Yes, he was.
So we know it's 9 o'clock. So we know that even though Jarvis left at this particular time, it's 9 o'clock a.m., we know that he hasn't snuck off to get Nazaya. Because we do know she got on the bus that evening. So we're looking at between 9 and 3. Anything after 3 o'clock, that's what we own, y'all.
He was there.
Okay. What do you guys, you and Mr. Butts, do as it relates to work on the night?
I think we had a few cars that came in that needed some minor repairs. Between that and the Jaguar, we was jumping in and out of the Jaguar job, and the cars that pulled up, maybe oil change, tune up, whatever, et cetera, so forth was. But we was mainly working on the Jaguar, trying to get the water pump off, as it is a hard job to do.
Yep, Britt Danny.
Do you,
Yep.
always have all of your parts on stock or on your person in stock with you?
No, we call either AutoZone, Mansfield, one of the auto stores that has them.
Okay. And did you have to go get any auto parts on January 9th?
Yes, we had to go get the water pump for the Jaguar, as well as some other parts, I believe, for other cars.
Okay. And
Did y'all get red antifreeze, nigga?
when you go and get parts, is it usually just one of you, both of you, or something else?
That depending. If it's a car there, then one of us will stay. If it's not a car there, we go together sometimes.
Okay. And on January 9th of 2024, did you guys, did one of you guys go to the auto parts store, or did you both go?
We both went.
Both went? Okay. Tell me what happens when you go to the auto parts store.
Before that, I called them. They ordered the water pump, so we went and picked it up when they called and said it was in. We got in the truck, went to AutoZone, got the water pump. On our way back from AutoZone, I believe we forgot something. So we ended up turning back around, going back to AutoZone, grabbed whatever we forgot, came back. And on our way back, we was coming down Harper. Jarvis said, "I see my niece right there. She walking."
That nigga knew she was coming. So I'm trying to get this right. Are we this is past 9 o'clock now? Because we know that little girl got off the bus. So what time is this he saying?
We pulled into Angel's liquor store. I still didn't see her. He pointed across my face, said she right there. She was coming across the street at that time.
Coming from the bus stop.
She got in the truck with us. She spoke. Hi King, hi Jay. And we proceeded back to the shop.
Okay. So, when you guys are driving to these auto parts stores, who's driving?
Jarvis,
Okay, and where are you at?
passenger seat.
Okay. And you said when you guys are heading back to the shop the second time,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you said Jarvis spots someone.
Yes,
Who does he say that he spots?
his niece.
His niece. Okay. And do you recognize his niece?
Yes, when I see her, when he pointed her out to me, yes, I recognize her walking across the street.
Okay. And so you guys pull over. Where does she get into the car at?
I believe she getting the behind me, so the back seat behind me.
Okay. Does Jarvis say anything to her?
Yeah, she speaks to both of us, and we speak back.
Okay.
So no, what the hell you doing over here? Type conversation. Ain't nobody feel like it was weird for her to be there?
What does he say to her?
Hi.
Hi. Okay. And where do you guys go after you pick up his niece?
Back to the shop.
Okay, and that's at 9,000 Connor?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you guys do when you get back to 9,000 Connor?
He back in. We get out. I
Thanks, Kay, really?
proceed to working on the Jaguar. I may have got out the car first with the parts, and he was in the car with her for a second. I got out, started working on the Jaguar.
And does what happens next? What do you guys do?
I believe she get out, get into the front seat, reposition herself to the front seat of his truck. It was colder that day. I believe she started the truck. We started working on the Jaguar, putting the parts back on. It took a little minute. Like I said, it was a difficult job, so it took a while. At some point, I believe his truck ran out of gas, so we had to stop what we were doing to push his truck to the gas pump so he could get some gas.
Now that would make sense. Hold on, because I'm trying to figure this out, y'all. Because we know that Jarvis' sister was there on this day too, on January 9th. So maybe when she's saying it was cold that day, she was sitting in the car, that's the time when her auntie had to be there to be able to see her. You feel what I'm saying?
So you said that she gets out of the car that you guys were in?
Yes.
Okay, and then she gets into Jarvis' truck.
No. We was always in Jarvis' truck.
Okay.
So she gets out of the back seat and repositions herself to the front seat,
Okay.
so she can start the car.
That makes sense.
Tell me what
Because
kind
the
of
auntie
car,
said that
what
she
kind of
kept
truck,
getting out and like, okay, that would be
Jarvis
making sense.
Escalade.
drives? And what color?
It's pearl white.
That's weird for you not to call your baby mom and be like, yo, you know that goddamn Zaya ass over here? Because y'all, if I pull it up on the maps where their new shop is to where on Bedford to where they live, it's you need a bus.
What, if you can see, what is his niece doing while you guys are working on shop, at shop?
I believe she's on her cell phone, I believe.
So everybody knew she had a cell phone but the grandma. That worked.
Does Jarvis ever take his niece anywhere that, like, while you guys are working at the shop?
No.
No? Okay. Did you ask him if he was going to take her home at all?
I believe I asked him was he gonna drop her off when the truck ran out of gas. We had to push it to the pump. It was just a distraction from work, so I asked was he gonna drop her off. He said no.
And did you finish working on the Jaguar that day?
Yes.
Okay. And what happens after you finish up on the Jaguar?
I called my son grandma and asked her how she was gonna retrieve the vehicle. She said she was gonna tow it back. I told her she didn't have to do that. That was just spending extra money. So I asked Jarvis, was it all right if we dropped it off?
That nigga ain't got no
He
gas.
said yes. And we started making preparations to do so.
Do you recall about what time you guys finished the Jaguar and prepared to leave?
Probably around 7:30ish, somewhere around there.
When do you guys eventually leave the shop?
Yes.
Okay. And tell me about who all leaves the shop?
Me, Jarvis, and his niece.
Okay. And tell me about the...
Say Nazaya,
arrangement.
punks.
So I drove my 300 and Jarvis drove the Jaguar.
And where was his niece at?
She was with him in the front seat of the Jaguar.
Now, are you able to recall what his niece looked like that day?
Yes. Faintly, but yes.
Do you remember what kind of clothing she was wearing?
I remember she had her jacket on. Like I said, a coat. It was cold, so I think it was colorful.
Colorful?
Yeah.
Damn shame. He know before the grandma.
And you're on the approach?
Yes.
I'm going to straight up approach you to People's Proposed Exhibit 2. And I'm going to direct you to the top left corner. Can you tell me, is there anything that you recognize in that?
The jacket in Channel 1.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the jacket that you've seen his niece, Jarvis's niece, wearing that day?
Yes.
And I move for the admission, People's Proposed Exhibit 2.
Any objection? Okay. We'll give it as People's Exhibit 2.
Thank you.
So many people failed. So many people came in contact with this girl.
And
This is fucking horrible.
I'm going to show you your man, coach. And then showing you it's marked.
Quita, you nailed that shit, Quita, because I didn't even think about it. But the baby mama did say that she called him at 6 p.m. because by that time, nigga, the other kids was out the after school program. She called this nigga. She called him and she said he didn't answer. Remember? And then she said she texted him and said, you know what I'm saying, blah, blah, like Zaya came back and he said something like, oh, wow. Yo, this is some wild shit, bro.
Appeals Coast Exhibit 3. Do you recognize what I just handed you?
Yes.
Thanks.
So at 6 o'clock, when these folks were so-called looking for her, they were still at the shop. Because you got to think about the timeline, y'all. The defendant's sister said that it was getting fairly dark when she walked to the store. So you got to figure out, it's all of these events crossing and shit. These niggas so that mean that when Jarvis and them, the auntie had to be up there till like 6. Because come on, man. We all Eastern time, 4 o'clock. It'll probably start getting a little dark around 5:30. He said it was raining that day, so it was an overcast. So it's going to be darker a little bit more. But damn, that's so fucked up. You was lying to that girl, unless that girl didn't hit him at that time. she might have been lying, so she might not even text or call that nigga.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction?
No, but yes, they did, because they had the text messages. Yes, they did. Yes, she did.
Jarvis's niece, as you remember seeing her back on January 9th, 2024.
Yes.
Okay, and is that the same niece that went with you to Ypsilanti?
Yes, it did.
Okay. And you're moved for the admission of people's proposed exhibit 3?
No objection. Okay. It'll be a
That's proof he was going to do something to that girl that night.
So, you guys are driving to Ypsilanti.
You said, wait, go back? What happened?
2024.
Yes.
Do you recognize what I just handed you?
Yes.
Thanks. And is that a fair and accurate depiction of Jarvis's niece, as you remember seeing her back on January 9th, 2024?
Yes.
Okay, and is that the same niece that went with you to Ypsilanti?
Yes, it did.
Okay. And you're moved for the admission of people's proposed exhibit 3?
No objection. Okay. It'll be a minute as people in exhibit 3.
Thank you. So,
Oh, his ass is back there still. He did have a lot of hair, y'all. He had hair long like mine, but still, you know what that nigga look like. You in the same jail as him with the haircut. Shit.
driving to Ypsilanti, you said you're driving in your 300.
You know they got him
and
separated,
Jarvis
though.
driving the Jaguar with his niece.
Yes.
Okay. About how long does it take you guys to get to Ypsilanti?
It was raining that day, so about 35 minutes.
And when you get to Ypsilanti, what do you do?
We get out, we park the car, get out, we go in. My son's grandma and I believe his auntie was there as well, so they greeted us. They spoken to him before, so they greeted him. And then my son, grandma asked who the little girl was.
You know, grandmas don't play that
introduce the
shit.
little girl?
Who that little girl?
Okay. Who introduced the little girl?
Jarvis did.
And what did Jarvis introduce her as?
His niece.
And about how long do you guys stay in Ypsilanti?
Not long, maybe 15 minutes or so.
What's the time?
My son, auntie had to go get the rest of our money that my son, grandma didn't have, so she went to the ATM.
Ask the time.
What do you guys do when you went to the ATM?
Talking. Talking. She was just telling us about other work she needed to do around her house, etc., so on and so forth.
Okay. And was Mr. Bucks with you the whole time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Ypsilanti is a city.
So, you guys eventually leave Ypsilanti?
Yes.
Okay. And tell me about the driving arrangements leaving Ypsilanti.
At this point, we only have one vehicle, which is mine. We get in, Jarvis in the front. I believe Naziah sat behind me.
that behind you?
Well, we already know that. I mean, it's seriously, we already know 7 years. So yeah, but we already know that it was under 9 o'clock because he's on the tether at this time. He said he's on tether, so he got a certain time. What time the tethers be stopping at? 8 or 9? So we know that he can't be out past 9.
Yes.
Okay.
So we know by now.
Is there any
The grandma and the aunties had to call this man by
No,
now,
I got
and he
sounds in my
lying.
car, so no.
And do you recall about what time you guys, I guess, where do you guys go when you leave this land?
Back to 9,000 Connors.
Okay. And do you recall about what time you guys get back to 9,000 Connors?
Probably around 8:45. I was cutting it close on the tether.
See?
What do you do when you get back to 9,000 Connors?
Opened up the shop door where he left. He left his truck in one of the bays, so we opened up that bay door. Went through the gas station because that's the way we entered the shop. Went through the gas station, opened the shop, opened one of the bay doors. I went to the back and started splitting the money that we had made for the day, and separating the receipts, etc.
Where do you see his niece go?
Getting this truck,
Do you recall where at his truck she got into?
passenger seat,
Is the front passenger, back passenger, or something else?
front passenger.
And where's Mr. Buck at?
Back in the back with me, separating the cash.
And when you leave, do you lock up the shop?
No, I left first.
You left first. Okay. So when you leave, who's still at the shop?
Jarvis and his niece.
Do you see them leave the shop at all?
No.
And have you seen, or had you seen, Jarvis's niece, the one that was with you on the 9th? Have you seen her since January 9th, 2024?
No.
Now I want to talk about the day after that you guys went to FC, so January 10th. Do you recall if Mr. Bucks was at work that day?
I don't think he was.
What makes you think that he wasn't?
I believe he called me like 3 times, 4 times. No reason for him to call me if he was standing right next to me.
Facts. Okay, you got a little goddamn sense in your big ass, thick ass milk dud.
Put on foot in police.
You asked the question, re-asked the question.
Yes. So you said that you don't believe
Shiny
that
sister, shut up.
call you. He calls you so often.
He called me. We had a 30-minute conversation on one account, and then we had another conversation about 15 minutes. So
Okay. So that makes you believe in your mind that he was at the shop with you.
Because see, when I was looking at the phone records on how it traveled, he was at that Park Motel. That's why they was questioning the baby mama, like, do you know him to take other people to that hotel? Because his phone highlighted to this specific hotel. But I'm gonna be honest with you, y'all. I think he hurt that little girl at that shop and then cleaned up at that hotel. It's too much shit going on.
What's the question first?
He was asking, based on those conversations, in his mind to him, that means that Mr. Bucks was not at the shop with him. I don't think that's leading.
It's stating a conclusion.
He said he already stated that he wasn't just a shot. We didn't believe him. So I'll overrule.
Thank you. You can.
one more time. I'm sorry.
Sorry. So based on the length of those phone calls and the times of them, did that make you believe that Mr. Bucks was not at the shop with you?
Right.
Did Jarvis Bucks ever mention to you about his niece being missing?
No.
Have you talked to Mr. Bucks, aside from that jail call that we played, since turning himself in?
Yes.
And which sibling do you know?
I met his brother and I met his sister.
Okay.
Damn,
And his
bro.
sister, well, strike that. Do you remember would his sister ever come to the shop?
Sporadically.
Sporadically, okay. And are there times that you talk to her?
Yes.
Okay. And had you talked to her about Jarvis's niece being missing?
After the police questioned me, I believe she came up there and we spoke about it, yes.
And Mr. Wright, I had asked you earlier about if you had seen Mr. Butts in the courtroom, so that you couldn't see him.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. May I go?
Yes.
And I'm showing you People's Proposed Exhibit 9. Can you tell me if you recognize that photo?
Yes.
And who is it in that photo?
Jarvis.
Okay. That's Jarvis Butts?
Yes.
Okay. Now I move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 9.
Okay, exhibit S, People's Exhibit 9.
Thank you. And Mr. Wright, I kind of want to direct your attention back to People's Proposed Exhibit 3, People's Exhibit 3, I'm sorry. Can you see it from here where I'm holding it?
Yes.
Okay, and do you know who this person in this photo is now?
Yes.
Okay. And who do you know her as now?
Nazaya.
And the next time that you see Jarvis Butts after January 9th, 2024, do you see any injuries on him?
No, I don't believe I've seen it.
Moving further, Judge.
Okay, Ross? Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Wright.
Good morning.
Hi, Pooh.
You said that, I believe, in your testimony that you have known Mr. Butts since about 2018, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And you said you met at Frank's, the shop that you worked at.
That's correct.
And you said you guys worked together at Frank's for about 2 years?
That's correct.
She get on my
And
nerves.
so that means that in about 2020, you opened up the shop on Connor? Is that?
No, in 2021 I went to prison.
Okay.
So that's why we didn't work together for that period of time.
And
But
so you came back?
I came back and we went back to the same thing.
So, nigga, why you back in jail, too? What y'all niggas got going
That
on?
was 2023.
Okay. And so then, how long after you came back were you, the two of you at Frank's together?
Maybe a few months to maybe like the middle of the year. So maybe around either June. It was before summer, so maybe around April. It was still a little cold outside.
Okay. So like early spring
Yeah.
of 2023 is when you said that you You think that you opened up the shop at 9:00?
Yes, it could have been earlier than that, but yes, roundabout.
And so you became business partners?
Yes,
Did you become business partners?
yes,
Okay. You also consider Mr. Butts a friend at that point?
yes.
As far as the business arrangement, you said it was a 50-50 split. Did you split it every day at the end of the day? Or?
Every day at the end of the day.
Now back around the beginning of 2024, maybe the end of 2023, were you seeing a woman in Clinton Township?
A woman in Clinton Township?
Yes. A friend of a woman named Shannon Harris?
In 24?
Yes.
No.
Or ever?
Yes.
When were you seeing her?
It probably was 2000 and maybe 19 or 20
So before you went?
before I went to prison.
Okay. Did you and Mr. Butts ever have a falling out about that?
No.
So hold on, what? Was he fucking a baby mama too? What?
Now back around the beginning of 2024, maybe the end of 2023, were you seeing a woman in Clinton Township?
A woman in Clinton Township?
Yes. A friend of a woman named Shannon Harris?
In 24?
Yes.
No.
Or ever?
Yes.
When were you seeing her?
He said a friend of who?
It probably was 2000 and maybe 19 or 20
I know she said a girl in
before I
Clinton
went to prison.
Township.
Okay.
I know he was saying a girl in Clinton Township. Now I know the baby mama used to stay in Clinton Township sporadically, but he said a friend of hers, a friend of
Did
Shannon.
you
Okay.
and Mr. Butts ever have a falling out about that?
No.
Now you and Mr. Butts, did you talk about your personal lives?
Sometimes, yes.
You spent the days at work together, right?
Right.
So presumably it came up.
Of course.
Talk about girlfriends.
Of course.
Did women often come to the shop looking for Mr. Butts?
Sporadically.
Did he talk to you about the various women that he would be seeing? Or juggling, maybe?
That happened.
Okay. Did it sometimes cause drama at the shop?
It happens.
Women would come up and confront Mr. Butts,
It happens.
maybe about other women that he was seeing?
It happens.
Did you ever feel like that was affecting the business?
Not at Frank's.
What about at the business that you owned at Connor?
No, it didn't happen as much there.
Didn't have as much at Connor?
Right.
Now, sometime, I guess, while the two of you all were working together, you had a friend that was, I guess, talking to or trying to date one of Mr. Butts' daughters. Is that correct?
That happened.
The daughter was like 21, 22.
She was somewhere around there. I'm not 100% certain.
you wanted
but
them
around
to-
that age, 20, 21, 22.
And that caused an issue for Mr. Butts.
It did.
He got pretty upset with this friend.
It did. I was in prison at the time, but yes, I was involved directly.
Okay. Did you ever hear about an altercation that happened between the two of them?
Some kind of altercation did occur, yes.
Ain't that about a bitch? He don't want nobody to date his daughters, but he hurt them. Ain't that motherfucking crazy?
Was it your impression that Mr.
He said it was his friend's girl who was talking to her, but it's too many of y'all niggas that flocking together. I don't like that.
Butts was pretty protective of her?
Yeah,
Based on that?
based on that.
Do you know how many children Mr. Butts has?
13?
And you said that some of them would come to the shop.
Yes, that happened.
You're familiar with them?
Yeah.
And I didn't ask you to name not all of them, but at the shop in Connor, you said his sons would come,
His son would come sometimes and stay the day with us.
and his daughter.
She would come sometimes and stay the day with us.
And what's her name? Do you recall?
No, I don't want to misname it.
Okay.
I think it's someone with a J or something like that, though, but I'm not 100% sure.
Was she like a teenager?
He has a teenager. She come up there sometime, but not really. The littlest one, maybe 9, 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there.
Okay. And then his niece would also come?
Yes.
Would she come typically with his own children?
When I first met her, yes, that's how I met her with his daughter. She would always come with his daughter. They would come up there sometimes to get air in their tires, maybe money, you know, just typical kid stuff.
Did he ever, or did the two of you ever have them like doing chores around the shop?
Sometimes.
Did Mr. Butts talk to you about his children?
Yes.
Did you talk about spending time with them?
Yes, I believe he lived with the majority of them.
I know you fucking lying. Because the majority of them will be Shannon and them. So I know you fucking lying. Living with who? Because where's the crib on Wilshire? He probably didn't even have a crib on Wilshire. That's why that lady never been in his house. He was living over there with the grandma and them, y'all. They lying like a motherfucker, bro.
And you said that, you mentioned Tasha. She's one of the mothers of some of his children,
Yes.
correct? Is that who he was living with at the time?
No, I don't believe so.
Lie.
Now, you said, I believe in your testimony, that you had been to Ypsilanti twice with Mr. Butts. Is that?
Or 3 times, one of the. Yes.
It possibly could have been 3.
It could have possibly been 3. I'm not 100% certain.
Okay. Now, one of the times that his niece was at the shop was, you said, on January the 9th.
First time I seen her by herself, yes.
Okay. That's because y'all picked her up on Harper?
Yes.
Did Mr. Butts seem surprised that he saw her?
I'm not sure. I couldn't really, you know, we was riding. I wasn't really paying attention to his expression. He just said, hey, there go my niece. I didn't see her, so he pointed her out to me.
And at that time, you only knew her as his niece, correct?
Yes.
You didn't have any idea what her name was at that time?
No.
So how many kids he got with Tasha? Because I thought Shannon had a majority of the kids. Because he said he lives with a majority of them. So she she got 7 of them from him? Because I know he got the other one. The one that's off bail. Tasha's the one that's off bail for. So would he got like 7 with her? Because Shannon, the baby mama, said the nigga had multiple babies on her. So Shannon has 5. How many Tasha got with him? Do anybody know how many Tasha got? I think 1 daughter with Tasha. So it's not making sense to me if he's saying he lived with it's not making sense. He said he lives with a majority. So either Tasha got 7 kids or Shannon is the one. The fiance didn't have no kids by this nigga. So when he said, no, Tasha's the fiance, I thought her name was Tanasia or something like that. It's just no way that Milk Dud can say that he can live with a majority of his kids because the majority of his kids come from Shannon, from what I know.
And in fact, the reason you learned her name was when you identified that picture that was just shown to you and the police told you what her name was. Is that fair to say?
That's fair, sir.
Now, in the time that you were at the shop on the 9th with Mr. Butts and his niece, did you see any inappropriate behavior or anything that made you raise your eyebrows between the two of them?
No.
What about any of the other times that his niece would have been there at the shop? Did you ever see any behavior that made you question or thought it was inappropriate?
I can't say I have.
Now, the 3 of you rode back from Ypsilanti on January 9th. That was your testimony, right?
Yes.
Was there any conversation between Mr. Butts and his niece in the car?
There was no conversation between really nobody. I had the music on.
And I'm going to back up to earlier in the day, when the three of you came to the shop the first time after you picked her up from on Harper.
Okay.
You said that she pretty much stayed in Mr. Butt's car the whole time.
Yes.
She said she was on her phone.
Yes.
Did you ever leave the shop at all after that, before you guys went to Ypsilanti?
Maybe in the gas station.
So not the little, just the attached gas station.
Yeah, maybe to the gas station. I'm not sure if I actually physically left the building. I'm not sure.
Would it have been for more than like 5 or 10 minutes?
If I ever left, no, maybe to use the bathroom, so maybe 10 minutes tops if I had to leave.
You never went to grab parts at any place that you can recall?
Not that I can recall.
Lady Milson, next time just tell me. I would have sent you a gift.
Now, after January 9th, what was the next time you said that you saw Mr. Butts?
The 11th.
The 11th. Okay. He was not at work on the 10th?
No.
Okay. Were you there on time on the 10th? Do you recall?
I'm never on time.
What time did you come in on the 10th?
Probably about 8:40. I go to the gym, so we open at 8, but I'm never there at 8, so I probably got there maybe 8:49.
And on the 10th, were you the one that opened the shop?
Yes.
Now, you were aware at that time that Mr. Butts was supposed to turn himself in and serve a jail sentence of William County Jail. That's correct?
Yes, I am.
You had talked about that, obviously, because he was going to have to leave the business for a while.
Correct.
Okay. And you actually went to the courthouse on the day he turned himself in to support him, right?
Yes, I was there.
And he was going to be serving time on a gun possession charge, is that right?
That's correct.
If you know.
That's correct.
Okay. And because you were kind of paying attention to what was happening, you understood that the court date had gotten changed a few times?
Yeah, he told me that it had changed. So I believe he was supposed to get sentenced on the 9th, but it got pushed back to February the 7th. So I learned that through him. I didn't go to court.
That's why he had to get rid of her on the 9th. He had to get rid of her on the 9th because he was already expecting to face time, and he knew that everything was going to come out while he was in jail. This is some real sad shit, y'all.
Court with him that time was just when he got sentenced. I went to court with him that time.
Are you familiar with any court dates that he had out in Clinton Township around that time?
He did say he had something going on with his daughter, I believe. I believe it was domestic with his daughter of some sort. So yeah, I was familiar with that, I believe.
Yeah, he lied to you, went on domestic. He was doing stuff to his daughter. So Milk Dud might not even know what was going on. Because most times the dudes they don't be playing that shit when it come down to kids. That's why Milk Dud might not have really known.
Was he going to court for that at that same time?
A roundabout, I believe it was supposed to be, yes.
Now you got involved because at some point you became aware that the Detroit police wanted to talk to you back in February.
They came to the shop and picked me up.
Okay, they actually took you down
to headquarters.
Okay, and that was the first time on February 13th, is that right?
That was February 13th, day before Valentine's.
Then you said you spoke with them again a couple days later.
Yes, I would believe the first time I spoke with him, I was still on tether, so it had to be sometime after I was on tether. Yeah.
And then you spoke with them again in March, right?
Yes.
And was that a phone conversation?
No, all of our conversations was via person.
Okay. And then a couple weeks ago, did you also speak with the police?
Yes.
And the prosecutors?
I don't know if a prosecutor, but yes, I believe she was.
As far as you can remember?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in February, when you were talking to the police, by that time, had you seen anything on the news or on social media about who you later learned was Mr. Butt's niece?
No.
So at the time you were interviewed by the police, you didn't know anything about?
No.
Okay.
And that might be right, y'all. He might not be lying because Detroit Police Department did not even get the case for Naziah until February. What they said it was February 12th. So it seemed like soon as they got the case, that's when they started talking to everybody. And then that's when everybody started talking too. You know what I'm saying? Like the baby mama called the sister. The sister went up to the shop to see this nigga. So it might be a strong possibility that he really did not know, y'all.
time that you were talking to the police, while you were untethered in February, you were untethered because you were on parole, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you had about 3 weeks left on parole at that point.
Not 3 weeks in February.
Yes.
I had 3 weeks left on tethered. I got off actual parole in May.
Okay. So the tether was coming off, but you were still going to have to report.
3 more months after the tether came off.
And in February, I believe it was the second conversation that you had with a detective, presumably, you and the officer, or the detective, spoke about the tether, right? Do you recall that?
I believe so, yes.
Because you were concerned every time you would go somewhere, you would be late, you were very
Oh, yeah,
about
yeah.
being home on time.
Right.
And in fact, he actually said, hey, we'll take care of you if anything pops up, right?
He said, I'll talk to your PO, so you're fine.
Okay. And he also kind of warned you that you didn't want to get somebody upset about the way you were answering these questions and have somebody feel some kind of way about you. Do you recall him saying that to you?
He may have said something to that extent. I'm not sure, though. This is the first conversation or the second you asked me
The
about?
second. Right at the top of the conversation.
I can't really recall every word. I know they were a little agitated, I was a little agitated. It was a lot going on, so maybe.
It's possible that conversation was
It's possible.
Did you understand any of his statements while you were talking to him to mean that the police wanted you to give answers, and if you didn't give answers, that they could mess with your parole or your tether status?
False speculation,
It goes to his state of mind.
but he doesn't know all that.
It's about what he believes might happen and could impact what you say.
Speculation is rephrase it as far as what they actually asking.
Was it your understanding that if you didn't give certain answers, that the police might impact your parole or your tether status? Was that a concern of yours?
I mean, it was already affecting my tether, so I wasn't really, concerned about how he placed his questions upon me, no. So, more of the concern was my being picked up by the police. Police contact is a violation of parole within itself, so I was violated for the police contact regardless to whatever he was saying. You get what I mean? So, no, I don't believe it impacted anything at all, actually.
But your parole wasn't actually revoked because they took you to the station and interviewed you, right?
No.
Now, we talked a little bit about this a few minutes ago. Mr. Butts was juggling a few different women during the time you knew him.
Yes.
And it was hard to keep up with all his baby mamas.
It wasn't my job, so yeah.
And ladies that weren't his baby mamas.
Right.
Did you get the impression from Mr. Butts that he didn't want these women to know about each other?
Of course.
And a woman named Tasha was one of Mr. Butts' ladies.
Yes.
And that was one of his baby mamas.
Yes. To my belief, yeah.
So there was some discussion about a phone call between you and Mr. Butts while he was at the jail about his phone, right?
Yes.
And
So wait, he got a Tasha and a Tanasia? Because I thought the girl that looked like she sucked her thumb, I thought it was Tanasia. So Tasha is the other BM? I'm so confused. I don't even know.
after that phone conversation, Tasha actually came into the shop to get some more
Tasha is not the
she
fiance.
came to get
That's the BM.
an oil change in the headlight.
And that's when you went and after that phone conversation, Tasha actually came into the shop between you and Mr. Butts while he was at the jail about his phone, right?
Yes.
And after that phone conversation, Tasha actually came into the shop to get some work done on the car.
Yes.
What's she saying her name?
Jail about his phone, right?
Yes.
And after that phone conversation, Tasha actually came into the shop to get some work done on the car.
Yes, she came
Tasha,
to
something
get
like that.
an oil change in the headlight.
And that's when you went and kind of looked for the phone
Yes.
to get some work done on the car.
Yes, she came to get an oil change in the headlight.
And that's when you went and kind of looked for the phone.
Yes.
Now, you didn't really want Tasha to know that you were looking for the phone, right?
Of course not.
And the reason for that was,
She's gonna wonder why I'm looking for a phone.
And was it your impression that Mr. Butts was afraid it would reveal that he was talking to other women?
Of course.
And so you're trying to help him keep peace?
Of course.
And
Yeah, dirty niggas. Dirty dog niggas. This nigga around here putting his sick sperm in all these women. So, just help.
I think the testimony was on the 9th, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there was an issue during the day. Mr. Butts had his escalator there, is that correct?
Yes.
And he had run out of gas.
Yes.
And he had to get gas, is that correct?
That's correct.
At some point you pushed him to the, or helped push the escalator to a gas pump.
Yes.
Do you recall leaving with him that night and going and getting gas together?
For his truck, or what we saying? Or for like a gas can? What do you?
Well, either one. Did you all leave the shop, and perhaps you in your vehicle and he in his vehicle, and end up at a gas station
No.
on the 9th?
No.
You don't have any recollection of that?
I don't remember that. No.
Okay. I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Can you redirect?
I'm so aggravated right now.